There's some pretty disturbing and effed up stuff inside.
Jeez. The stuff in this museum ranges from slightly quirky to absolutely horrifically disturbing. This is the stuff of nightmares. No. All that's left is that word. A signed Diddy picture in here. Interesting. What a disturbing collection. 8-legged lamb with 1 head, 4 ears. What? I mean, what the I feel a bit sick.
So I'm here at Littledean Jail, Europe's largest and most disturbing dark tourist attraction. There's some pretty disturbing and effed up stuff inside. It says on their website, you know, if you are easily offended or sensitive of a sensitive nature, you know, they strongly urge you not to visit this place. It was opened in 1791. People that were convicted that were housed here. The convictions go from things like petty theft, prostitution, military deserters, fraud and embezzlement, assault and battery, all the way up to murder. Look at that. That's pretty disturbing. As soon as you walk in, just this, noose hanging from the ceiling. Around 1854, it stopped being used as a corrections facility and was turned into a police station and sort of a place that, you know, people were kept on remand, etc. Actually, the last witch to be trialed here was in 1906. She represented herself and actually was found to be innocent. Now, when I first came here, I thought that this place was going to be a museum sort of on the correctional facilities and, you know, jail through time, and apparently it's a crime through time museum. But actually, there was some really dark sort of stuff. And displays on satanic worship and ritual. They proclaim it's the home of Baphomet. I mean, let's just have a look in here. There's exhibits on different murderers, prolific criminals, disgraced celebrities, paedophiles, scandal, secret societies, extremist groups. I mean, you name it. This seems to be the place that all of this stuff is documented and displayed. Some creepy ass stuff, man. That's way in, I guess. Artifacts of some of the most disturbing crimes are sort of documented and kept here. Jimmy Savile's jacket and hat. Bruh. Some authentic Nazi uniforms. Actual artifacts. Oswald Mosley and his British Union of Fascists. Back in the 1930s, as the British arm of the Nazi movement.
Lift up your voices in this great meeting in the heart of England. Send to all the world a message. England lives and marches on.
Actually, one of their banners. This place is so cluttered. There's just stuff everywhere. You know what? There's a really disturbing place in here. There's just stuff everywhere. Obviously, it's in an old jail. A lot of the stuff's displayed in jail cells, and I've just got a weird. There's just a weird, heavy energy inside here. A real Luger. This, though, the actual whip used by Irma Grease, the Angel of Death. She was a prison guard at Auschwitz. She was placed in charge of 18,000 female prisoners. And she went on to Belsen in the final months of the war. Yeah, she was called the Angel of Death. Yeah, she had a reputation for sadistic beatings using a whaling stick or this riding whip. She also had a macabre interest in the medical experiments conducted at the camp. She was tried as a war criminal, condemned to death, and dragged screaming to the gallows.
Before the military tribunal, Kramer admitted that Belsen's death roll was more than 500 daily. Children were taken from their mothers and brutally killed. Women were used as guinea pigs in Nazi sterilization experiments. 21-year-old Miss Gracer, number 9, calmly hears witnesses. Newsreel films of the atrocities at Belsen shocked the world. Even death for Kramer and his gang cannot avenge the crimes of the beasts of Belsen.
How about this for a diorama? Horrific, disturbing, unnecessary, factual. I don't know. This museum seems to sort of tread the fine line between shocking and insightful or informational. This is even worse. The SS brutality at the Holocaust death camps. Here is a horrific, disturbing exhibit item that no other Holocaust museum or collection dare not exhibit or display. Why not? It happened. It is a well historically documented fact. A great many innocent women and young girls were brutally and shamefully raped, tortured, and murdered on a vast scale by Nazi SS guards and officers inside the death camps. Jeez. I mean, just being so close to them is disturbing in itself. An old school war hospital wheelchair from Nazi Germany. I mean, just imagine collecting all of this stuff. Look, there's more uniforms from the death camps. There's just loads of them. Ronnie Cray, when he attended his mother's funeral, his suit.
The Cray twins, Ronnie and Reggie, now serving life for vicious gangland murders.
Ronnie was first, now classified as criminally insane. Ronnie! Ronnie!
Charles Bronson, known as Britain's most violent prisoner. Look at those glasses.
All right, Charlie. Something to read? Way after that. Got another Jilly Cooper. How do you get on with that Udair's wins then? Really good.
Shut your fucking mouth!
No problem, Charlie.
Shut the fuck up, you cunt! Shut it!
Right! Now I've got a librarian up here. And he's in a lot of trouble. So I think you should send someone up to help him out, don't you?
Check this out, the Bronson Room, featuring some of his original artworks. Yeah. Scary man. Yeah, funny man. Film was brilliant, if you've seen it, called Bronson, played by Tom Hardy. Oh, some of the underwear that his girlfriend sent in. They've even got a bit of his beard sent in for DNA. Look at some of this original piece artwork from Charles Bronson. Mate, not gonna lie, it's pretty crazy stuff. The man has quite a imagination. Hmm. The year 1994, a genius at work. This place has so much random stuff in it and clutter that you literally, it's like a maze. It's very interesting and somewhat disturbing. Some of the stuff in here is just absolutely random. This display, Fred and Rose West, notorious killers.
Frederick West, the Gloucester builder whose home concealed 9 corpses, has been found dead, hanging in his prison cell at Winson Green Jail in Birmingham. He'd been in custody for nearly a year, accused of a total of 12 murders, and committal proceedings were due to start next month. His wife, who's charged with 9 murders, was told of his death this afternoon.
Here on display are Fred West's very own building tools, including his spade and pitchfork used for the digging and burying of their victims, Rose West's underwear, and country and western records from her personal collection, signed as being hers, various handwritten letters and signed, receipts, etc. Work boots, owned and worn by Fred West. I mean, it's quite it's quite chilling, I suppose, to be, so close to items actually owned by these people. But yeah, it's just seems strange to have a collection of them. But I guess if I find them interesting, then others will too. It's just odd. Yeah, check out this place. Wall to the rafters, just filled with stuff, and all along this corridor of, jail cells. And in every room, something dark and disturbing. The block and axe. I mean, it would be impossible to show you every room in here, let alone everything that's on display. But there's a room for all sorts. There's a room for every sort of disturbing crime, um, weird and disturbing, disturbing stuff in every room. I mean, this room just filled with artifacts and news articles from various serial killers around the world.
the world's first woman serial killer. She looks delightful. The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. I saw a documentary on this guy. What are these? They're like trophies to them? That's weird. The stuff in this museum ranges from slightly quirky to absolutely horrifically disturbing. And there's something that I've seen here which I can't and won't show you on my channel. But to describe what I'm seeing, dead baby eating in China, uh, horrifying images. It's making me feel sick, and but just so you can be aware that stuff like this is in this museum. If you're ever thinking of visiting, they weren't lying when they said it was for not for the faint-hearted, easily disturbed. This is the stuff of nightmares. It says, although China has laws that prohibit the eating of human fetuses, the regime's forced abortions to ensure one-child policy is strictly adhered to, thereby creating many opportunities for these sorts of things to occur. And, in these images, apparently a human baby has been made into a soup for sexual power in China. I mean, sickening, honestly. Church of Satan, founder Anton LaVey. Hey, look, we've got Charles Manson's hair too. Again, it says for DNA. I mean, absolutely random. I'm gonna have to be careful what I video here because some of the stuff on these pictures is too much. Horrific. There's quite an echo in these cells, of course. It's hard to get good audio. I mean, again, I can't show you, but there's pictures in here of serial killers like Ted Bundy after they've been executed through the electric chair. I mean, it makes it slightly easier to digest knowing that they committed some horrific crimes, but still very disturbing.
And this morning, just after sunrise, the man suspected of brutally killing 36 women, many of them in Utah, met the long, drawn-out demands of justice. Bundy was executed before an atmosphere that was almost circus-like. KUTV's Bob Loy reports from the Florida State Prison near Stark.
It was the morning people here have been anticipating for 10 bitter years. The Day State Prison officials wired up the chair called Old Sparky and ordered Theodore Robert Bundy to take his seat.
No. That was probably stupid of me to sit on that chair. I just got a real weird energy over my body doing so. No doubt a poo hole for those being electrocuted. I'm sure it would make you shit yourself. Oh, behave. They have to tell me twice. They have some really random and quirky collections in here as well. Remember this film? I can relate to this guy. It's kind of how I feel in the mornings, The Black Widow, Linda Calvi. All of her husbands ended up dead or in prison. It's just kind of surreal to collect these sort of items as memorabilia of her. Sure, we all know about Jimmy Savile and the crimes that came out of the woodwork once he passed. I mean, a letter written by him just such an odd collection of things from some really, horrid people. Some of Jimmy's medals from doing the marathons he used to do for charity. The numbers that he would have had on his back.
Jim was destined to become synonymous with sponsored marathon running.
Very odd. That's an interesting image. How the S of Speedo is being covered by his jacket. All that's left is that word. Oliver Cromwell's death mask. Not only that, a lifelike film prop of the decapitated head of King Charles I, who was tried for high treason and executed in the presence of his parliamentarian enemy and warlord, Oliver Cromwell, on the 30th of January, 1649. These voodoo dolls, how bizarre. They appear to depict two council chiefs and were sent to West businessman Andy Jones, who was involved in a long-running planning row. I mean, it's just room after room of some bizarre stuff, some disturbing stuff. Every wall and even the ceilings, just filled with stuff. Politicians behaving badly room. I'm glad they've got something like this in here. Theresa May's S&M double does hard Brexit up the bum for £200 a pop. Oh, bizarre. Genuine tiger stripe camouflage uniforms as worn by the Vietnamese during the conflict from hell. Genuine 1920s Punch and Judy show. Sausage maker. There's something very creepy about these. Just a warning to anyone that might be thinking of visiting this place. The very last room that you'll get to on the top floor has scenes of crime, death, murder, suicide, abuse, and beyond, mutilation. I feel a bit sick. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted, and not something that many people, including me, would be interested in seeing. Maybe a bit too far to put these things on display, but I mean, it says that it's a place to display things like this that won't be displayed anywhere else, I guess. But I'm not sure that it's necessary, some of the things that I've seen in this room. So just a pre-warning for anyone that's going to visit, maybe avoid the last room. Was a room full of information and evidence, graphic evidence of executions, whether it be gangland, like the cartel, or Islamic extremist groups that made my stomach turn. Also in the last room, there's information on how different drugs have affected different people. Some of the most serious side effects. And this, we all know about Lost Prophets frontman Ian Watkins, And his disturbing crimes, his abuse of his situation, his preying on his fans and their children.
The former Lost Prophets singer who was caught with more than 90 indecent photos of children, videos of extreme pornography, images of bestiality. The man who in April last year at this hotel attempted to rape on camera an 11-month-old boy, with the boy's mother present and encouraging him. The man who would months later encourage another young mother over Skype to abuse her own young daughter for him, amidst talk of him wanting the little girl to take crack cocaine.
Sick. Oh, I thought this was a prop. A murder victim's skeletal remains and an oak carved coffin used for medical educational purposes by crime psychologists. This victim had been stabbed to death and had lost a number of his fingers during his torture prior to his death. Eesh. A signed Diddy picture in here. Excess all areas. I mean, of course, it's mugshots. And guess who else is in here? Interesting. Right? The devil's hand sign. See who's on here. Michael. Oh shit. 6 famous people allegedly killed by the Illuminati. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Holy crap. Original 100-gram sized used Zyklon B canisters. Taken from one of the first Nazi death camp gas chambers. I mean, these were actually used to gas people to death. Shocking. A shrunken head from an executed Java tribesman in South America. I mean, what a disturbing collection. Jeez. Bruh. Moo, the freak two-headed calf. Look at this kit. Get rid of those pesky vampires, I guess.
What is this? Billy and Jilly, the bonking monkeys. Piglet the freak, six-legged pig. Eight-legged lamb with one head and four ears. What? Just to top it off as I'm leaving. I mean, what the This altar, though. It's certainly an interesting place. And as I've said many times throughout this video, very disturbing. It's a difficult one with trying to display the truth and things that are hidden from us, and also try to protect us from things that we probably don't need to see, that are a bit too horrific, you know, sort of glorifying. I mean, it's an argument whether this is glorifying some of the things, you know, the Holocaust exhibits, the serial killers, um, almost kind of romanticizing them, with the memorabilia, with the real life artifacts of them, you know, their clothing, their tools. Um, you know, is it something that's, you know, a curiosity in us to see these things? I mean, I will admit I found it interesting, though I found it very dark. Um, I must admit, at one point in there, I felt a bit ill. You know, I felt as if I could feel some pretty strong energy in there, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised. It was used as a jail. Murderers were kept there. Murders have happened there. Being in any old jail is quite a disturbing place anyway, for energies, just for, you know, what it was there for, who was housed there. But obviously, it being filled with these curious things, sometimes quite brutal things. I don't know. Is it worth a visit? I'd say this is up to you. I found it interesting, but it's it's a very different place. It's a very different museum, of course, from anywhere I visited. It's meant to be Europe's largest and most disturbing dark tourism attraction, and I can see why it's earned that. I would take the advice given, really, at the gates. Warning: if easily disturbed, offended, or of a sensitive nature, avoid entry to Littledean Jail. And yeah, I mean, that's it, guys. That's Littledean Jail. I mean, or some of it. I couldn't obviously show you all of it, and some of it you may not have wanted to see, but certainly a very different and, dare I say, interesting place. I truly did find this place and what was inside overwhelming. I mean, the amount of times you heard me say the word disturbing, I'm sure you could have made you could make a drinking game out of that. So you know, if you want to go back and watch and do that, that might be fun. But yeah, I said the word disturbing so many times. If I was less overwhelmed, I probably could have thought up some other synonyms. You know, chilling, shocking. I don't know, but you know, it really was. It really did sort of take me aback. Yeah. My view is yes, this place houses artifacts and displays that are extreme and make for uncomfortable viewing. But this stuff, of course, should not be ignored or forgotten about. The whole premise of this place, you could argue, treads a fine line between highlighting and educating people on these sort of dark elements, the history of crimes against people and humanity, and perhaps almost sensationalizing these things, seeking to invoke a shock factor to an already chilling history. I'd say that the museum doesn't seem to be sort of glorifying any of the subjects, but more so putting it before your eyes and provoking you with the truth about these subject matters. And it would seem to the local council's disdain, according to attempted legal actions against the place. Regardless, for me, there's an importance and a place in this world for this information, these artifacts, this collection to be shown, to be housed. And I guess that's here at Littledean Jail. I mean, if somewhere, where else? Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let me know if you want to see me do more of these types of videos. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all of those good things. And if you want to go one step further, I always really do appreciate that, the support. You can do so by following the link in the description. And yeah, until next time, whenever and with whatever that may be, I'm MC Good Truth, signing off.